This is your daily market recap for January 10th, 2022. Let's go. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your market recap for, January 10th, 2022. Let's get into it. So starting out on the Discord board, I post this information not because I think it's not worth much, but honestly, it is literally trading gold. Today was a bullish day in the market historically. When I posted on Twitter this morning, look for certain levels to hold on the SPY, the QQQ, watch the VIX, watch the TLT. Don't be surprised when the market ripped back up and closed near the highs of the day. All the trade alerts we put out, like this kind of stuff. I apologize. It's a little suggestion. It's not rocket science. So stop by the Discord room. We talk every morning about what's going on, what to expect. Again, middle of December or middle of January, expect running up. And then middle of December, you can expect some pullback. It's only the 10th. Again, look at the seasonality of the first 2 days of the week. They're bullish. So when the market opened down, I don't give a crap what is going on. That should be in your mind. Be aware. I mean, I had people telling me I'm crazy for shorting the UVXY and the 14s, and let alone, where did it close today? 1235. That is what is up. So let's jump into it, because I always like to start with the Bitcoin. Again, great content here. Watch this green zone. It's acting as support and resistance. When above it, it is support. Zoom in, and what do we say? Watch this green zone. I mean, look at this. Bottom, long wick. Look at the huge volume. It should be popping. So I put out a trade alert this weekend. Watch for Bitcoin to bottom. I don't know what to say at this point other than there's a lot of things that are going on that I've been right about. And again, I'm in probability game. I'm not in the certainty game. And hopefully, if you're watching these videos, you're seeing that we trade with a lot of we trade with the probabilities, and we've been doing pretty well. TLT, again, said we thought this candle was a little bit of an anomaly. Then we had the 2-day range, said it could go lower. Ben put out the alert this morning. Watch the 141s. We'll look at the close. Close up near the high. Now, again, one day doesn't make a trend, but this is pretty exhausting. It's got to be getting tired. And notice all this volume at the lows versus the volume up here. I think someone's buying the bond market. I'm calling bullshit on the Fed's raising rate. So is the bond market if they're buying bonds today. That's just as simple as it has to be. The dollar, talked about this many a times. I think it's bearish, but as long as it holds up high and tight in the zone in the 50-day, you need more information. And sometimes people hate this. Like, they can't wrap their head around months of chopping. Like, that happens sometimes, but just be aware. The longer you chop, the bigger the move after. SPY, again, put out alert this morning. Watch the lows, watch the areas. I mean, if you see on the if you go check out my Twitter, Trading Agent, you'll see we talked about this area down here being the 618 holding. If you did 450 up to 480, 0.618 was somewhere down in these 450s. It held, and we popped, closed. Look at the volume today. Again, I think the bears always are biting off more they can chew, because trust me, I was one of those people who thought the market was going to tank for a while, but as long as the Feds are still around, they're still around. Look at this candle. Big volume, blowout. I always thought the 200-day could come into play, but not even close. Not even close. So at this point, again, for some reason the charts didn't save, but I said watch for the gap fill here. We looked below it, and again, an AM Monday bear trap on a bullish seasonal day. Not surprised. The VIXer said again, watch the levels. I mean, look what you got. I'm not drawing these lines as the screens pop up. I hope people realize, like, they're there for a reason. Resistance, trap. I mean, it happens a lot. So you watch the levels. And again, at this point, why was the VIX rising this morning? I don't know, other than the sentiment over the weekend. If you follow, we talk about it, because the sentiment was super bearish this morning. Well, of course people are getting scared and liquidating on Monday, because they don't know what else to do with themselves. They just feel like they need to sell. It's really that simple. Again, you can't know everything all the time, but Historically, I do not fight the seasonality. When I think the market's going to rise and the seasonality lines up, I don't tend to fade the seasonality. I hope people are starting to realize that. Again, when the seasonality is more bearish, we will have bearish calls. But when the seasonality is bullish, I tend to just either play only the up, or I wait for, I'm just going to wait it out, because I don't think what usually will happen is, worst case scenario, this will just be chop. So if you were bearish in this choppy period, you're going to lose your cookies just waiting for this to happen. Wait for the seasonality to line up. Speaking of seasonality, talk about gold seasonality. Why? Well, here's the gold seasonality. Mid-December, runs up into February and March every year. It's really that simple. This drop on the news of the Fed minutes, which, again, the Fed spoke on the 15th. This is what happened. We retested on the notes. What did the notes say differently? Literally nothing. So I think this is a big bear trap. Silver showing the same kind of intestinal fortitude, filled the gaps. I mean, all the miners. I mean, if you're watching the daily recaps, I don't want to spend too much time on this, because it's like, yeah, we expected this. Filled the gap and bouncing. GDX. Filled the gap here. Doji, engulfing bar, bullish, move on. I mean, it's that simple. Like, if you're bearish, you got problems. Again, lower low, close back up near the highs. That is bullish again. Keep it that simple. AG. Apologize, I'm sniffling. I just ate a pizza with a lot of spice on it. 3-day range. Get back over 1050. Buy it hard and be aggressive, because I think you can do it with a tight stop. KL, left-right combo. And if you don't know what left-right combo is, let me tell you about it real quick, because I don't think I have a video on it. So when you have a big down bar, a doji, followed by a big green bar. Now, again, left-right combo can be at the top. It can just be opposite. It can be green, doji, then red. But at a low, this is a bullish formation, because you have a big down candle, you have indecision, and then the green ate it all up. That is telling you something. You got to just let the chart speak. And when that happens, the probabilities are now bullish. Why? Think about it. Big down, indecision, turnaround. So everybody who was selling these 2 days was wrong, and now you're closing at the high. Like, you just have to understand that's just the action, what it is. Now, does it mean it has to rip right back to the highs? Maybe. It might. But again, this is bullish short term. Keep that in mind. Again, I apologize, I'm sniffling. I just ate a spicy pizza, and it's like all of a sudden the peppers are draining in my sinuses. PAAS. Now look at that. Make a lower low. Boom. Close above yesterday's high with accelerating volume. That's not bearish. Keep it that simple. X, we've talked about the rotation in the commodities. It's not, I mean, look at this. Chopping inside days. Now the 200-day, the 200-day should be your day trading hard stop. Like, you say, if you bought at 22 and you wanted to buy some dips but didn't sell any, needs to hold this 200-day in blue. Doesn't, it's going a little lower. Not the end of the world. VALE. Where are you, VALE? Again, I don't use this computer to trade off of, because it doesn't have all the screens. We said break out of the channel. Boom. Nice. Or not channel, out of the trend zone. Not trend, chop zone. Now you're over the 100-day. This looks great. I mean, again, Scott was saying the same thing. Like, hey, I should just buy this and not watch it. And I'm like, yeah. If you bought down here in the 11s, what you did, let it run, because, I mean, it can go from 10 to 18 and then chop and then go up to 20s. I mean, I like the risk reward. I mean, it looks way better than a lot of the tech we're about to jump into. AMD, again, I mean, stay away from tech. Stay away from tech. The only one that I think is okay is Apple. Upper channel fail. 100-day old trend line, not surprised it bounced. We drew that blue zone because I thought that might be the bounce zone. It was the first bounce zone. Again, I mean, you can scalp these, but please don't invest in these. Let time pass. Let things happen. There might be a rotation of money into commodities for months, and underperforming tech is not going to be a good place to be hanging out. Apple, different, big buyback, big dividend. I still think it gets up to the 190s and the channel high. Today's action looks pretty bullish. I mean, you gap down, you fill the gaps down here in the 169, and you close up near the high of the day. Short term, that's not bearish. Just keep that simple. Micro strategy. I mean, look at this blowout. Talked about holding the 500 range and then got wiped out even lower. Well, again, it's predicated on Bitcoin bottoming. If Bitcoin is bottoming, that's a nice little candle. Keep in mind, like, the volume is increasing today. You'd like to see higher volume and higher higher highs and higher lows off the bottom to confirm the bottom. And again, it was hard to confirm a bottom when the last 3 days you made lower lows and lower highs. Like that, keep in mind, like making higher highs and higher lows invalidates downtrends. Invalidation of downtrends means you should expect higher highs. Just keep it really that simple. Let's go into Roblox. I put a trade alert out on this, and I hope people, again, if you're not following me on Twitter, not following me on all these other platforms, you might be missing out. Discord especially posted this red zone was a buy spot. Again, I think this might be a scalp point for a W later, because look how it chops out. But I said, oh gosh, I said if you bought down here, you had the opportunity for at least 10, 15 points. Well, if you bought down in the 80 area, closing at 85 is not a bad start. Put your stops at your entry. Keep it real simple. You can't lose money now. Like, that's the kind of trading you gotta love. So watch this area. It's very important. So let's get into RIVN. This was a failed trade that, fortunately, you know, we stopped out for break even. We thought the buy zone bullish, hit the 20-day, failed, lower lows. I would watch this downward trend line. Again, I've talked about this. You can have an IPO go below the IPO price. It's just a matter of what happens in time. Keep an eye on it. I'd be more bullish if it gets back over it. Tesla, I mean, we've been all over this one. We have nailed every single thing about it. Not surprised it bounced today. Failed up here. Oversold short term. I mean, look at this. 4 straight days down. Almost 200 points down. Of course, it's going to bounce. Just keep it simple. Again, I would stay away from it, though. People are going to have a hard time listening to this. After a big move, do not be surprised if it chopped. So let it play out like Roblox. Like, let it shake out all the weekends. Let it shake out all these stock twits and hodl and diamond hands kind of dipshits. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Like, they don't understand. The market's meant to be traded. So, I mean, you can make new highs, but your job is to buy low and sell high. It's not to just buy and hold forever with 100% all in all the time, because that's gambling. Keeping your leverage too high is like playing at the blackjack and just always increasing your bets. You're just going to lose it all back. You have to know when to turn up the get bets and turn it down. PENN, this one's frustrating. It looks like a head and shoulders bottom. These long wicks are intriguing. Just get back over the 20-day. At this point, I don't even want to overthink it, because it could just play this stupid game. Let's do UTHR. Sometimes I forget about this one. Talked about that blue zone, channel low. If it makes a little lower low, it bounces here, I think you can buy it. I think there's 20 points in it minimum. I think it's not a bad trade. I think you just got to be patient. Oh, EXPI, you have been so hard. But again, you watch the bond market. Look at that. You went below it. And look at this doji. Watch this doji here. Watch what's going to happen. I mean, doji. There is a ton of indecision down here, but somebody's able to stop this action. Pay attention to the TLT, because again, that's what's, I think the market's calling the bluff of the feds. If rates stay lower, do you think the housing market's going to do well in the spring? Based on my current experience as of right now, you bet your ass. Yeah, real estate's going to do well. People are going to be shopping. People are going to be buying. It's going to be a normal year. If anything, price should be higher. XOP, talked about breaking the downtrend with volume. You had a fake out, back test, boom. Now it's just holding tight. Again, I always say high and tight is okay. Looks fine to me. I mean, it could fill the gap at 100 and whatever, mid 100 and still be all right. ExxonMobil here is a classic example of a channel breakout with volume, or trend breakout. Break the downtrend, volume increase, boom. Now that it's up here, I mean, maybe it needs a break for a couple days. I mean, keep in mind, I mean, look where you just went. You went from chop, big green. What happens sometimes after big green? Chop, and then backfill. It could be big green and doji. That's what I would think. Expect this week would just be more of a chop going into OPEX next week. So again, I hope this helps. If you are trading and you feel like you need help, have questions, you're not sure about things, stop by the Discord room. Ton of education here. I promise you it's worth watching. And if you watch this far and you're not a subscriber, not in the Discord room, and not following on Twitter, I don't know what you're waiting for. Again, all of this is free. Go back and review all of the concepts, or just review what I've said. And if you think this is worth your time, you'll notice, like, again, I don't promise certainty, but I will say that we're right 80 to 90% of the time. And if you know anyone better than that, please drop their link in the description below. All right, I appreciate everyone. Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.